The content of this radio show is to provide information and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered advice or a recommendation. Thing or Two About Life, Total, is an adult podcast and recommended for mature audiences only. No content from the radio show can be used without the permission of Thing or Two About Life, Total. Thank you.
I am so into me, but I can learn a thing or two from you. I can weather the storm all by myself, but I'm so glad I got a total crew.
All right. Guys, welcome back into another episode of Thing or Two About Life, the Total Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Mario, and I am hanging out with my crew, my fam, my peeps. We're going to get this thing rolling and started. Thank you to everybody that tuned in to the live yesterday. We truly appreciate it. We talked about forgiveness and just saying thank you to the people that has contributed and has joined the group. So don't forget, you can follow us out there in them digital streets. We out there, Facebook, Instagram. Y'all know the spiel. Y'all have heard this 1,000 times. Don't forget, if you want to hang out with us, it's atotalview22@gmail.com. If you want to leave any correspondence, and don't forget, members of the group, let's participate. Let's engage more. We are rolling with Big Mitch. We got Miss Diane. We got our lovely producer in the house. And we're going to start it off with you, Big Mitch. Talk to him, Playboy.
What up, Big Mitch in the house? Let's play a game of cat and mouse. The resident big man, cause I'm melting your mouth and not in your hand. Let's get it.
Let's get it. All right, we got the lovely, beautiful Miss Diane, Miss Atissa in the house. Talk to him, lovely lady.
You on mute.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. Hopefully it'll be a lovely podcast today. As always, welcome to a total Thing or Two About Life.
Yes, welcome. And last but not least, we have the lovely Miss Andrea, our producer extraordinaire. Talk to him, baby girl.
Good evening, everyone. Once again, we are back. I'm going to bring you a great show tonight. Thank you all for everybody that joined us last night, as me and Mario just did a little something to remind you that we are still out here. And as Mario said, we did talk about forgiveness last night, and I still say you have to forgive someone at some point in your life. But with that being said, Mario, I have to applaud you. You got the email right. And as he said, you can always reach out to us at atotalview22@gmail.com.
All right. Let's get things started. Last week, thank y'all. We hadn't put out a podcast, in a little bit. And over on YouTube, when I put it up, I thought it was going to be run of the mill, whatever, but we had a record number of people that tuned in, and I appreciate it. Just want to say thank you, guys. Sometimes, when you're like us and you content creators, and sometimes it can be mundane, because sometimes everybody on the panel can attest to, sometimes it's hard to find shit to talk about. You know what I mean? But somehow we make it work, we make it happen, and y'all are starting to notice, and we just want to say thank you. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And yeah, thank you. That's pretty much what I want to say. So let's just start off with something real simple, right? It's 2024, and we see the way the world is going, y'all. Diane, I'm gonna start off with you. If you had to say what would be your perfect scenario for a relationship, what would it be for you? Give me your perfect ideal situation for a relationship.
Two like-minded adults that seem to come together, have great communication skills, appear to have mutual respect for one another, and are looking for similar things to accomplish futuristically speaking.
Okay. All right. What about you, Big Mitch? What would be your ideal relationship scenario for you?
Mm, boy, that was good because Diane said everything, boy, because she was right. Remember that Dolly Parton song she had? It was called Islands in the Stream. Islands in the Stream, that is what we are. Sail away
Mhm.
with me to another world. That song says everything. I think that, when you find somebody that's everything and everything you're looking for, you better hold on to them because it don't happen often. There's a lot of things, that we get with, and it's just temporary and we act like we don't know, but we got those signs that let us know that it's just temporary. But I think that when you find that one right person, everything just clicks and it's not hard. It's not even hard work because it's right there and it just works out. I think that's the most perfect thing. Quite similar to what I got going on right now. Something I never thought that it would just happen like it happened, and it just did.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, Miss Andrea. What would be your perfect ideal relationship scenario right now in your life?
Well, right now in my life, it will most definitely have to be like Diane said, with someone that where we have like minds, we know what we want in and out of this life that we're living in now. And also we have to be on the same page about things. And communication is always a plus for me. Uh, being able to communicate, being able to just laugh with each other, enjoy one another. Because I'm like, right now, I am a big kid at heart. If I can't laugh with you and play with you, then guess what? And if you have an issue about it, I get to be with you. But we both have to be able to handle the business, when it comes to our family and things like that and whatnot. But and and most definitely we have to have some type of spiritual guide.
That's it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree with a little bit of what all y'all said as far as being on equal footing. But sometimes, when you be on equal footing, you gotta kind of dive into the details of the equal footing because both of y'all could be good, true professionals and make good money, but how y'all see how the money should go is a big thing. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
and so sometimes when we say communication, communication is not one of them things where we always say communication is just one definition where everybody thinks the same. You'll be amazed that what your version of communication is not the same as another person's version of communication. So, and y'all know we did the podcast a couple months ago where we said having conversations and questions that we ask and we say questions we should ask. A lot of them questions we say in theory, but them are questions we really never ask people when you first start dating them or first start dealing with them. And I think that maybe some of them questions y'all had brought up back then we should ask because sometimes when it comes to some relationship we go with the flow. And as you get older, sometimes going with the flow is not necessarily the best route to go because everybody flow and vibe is different. But ideally, you would want to be equally, as y'all like to say, equally yoked with people.
Yo.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And you got to have the same mindset when it comes to three principal things, y'all finances, y'all communication, and y'all intimacy. Because if there's a break in any one of those things, it's going to start feeling like one person carrying the load. And then I don't care who you is, how much you love somebody. If you feel like you the one doing all the pulling, that shit going to get old. So,
I totally
that's
agree
just
with
my take on it.
totally agree. Totally agree with you. Because when
Um,
you have just one person in there doing all the work, that person they're automatically gonna get tired. Both parties do have to put their time in equally to make it work.
yeah. Um, I was gonna bring up one video that had something that had a older lady, a senior citizen lady saying some things, but since we don't have kind of like Marlena and Miss Dinetta on to see, have they ever heard this? I'll just move on from there and we'll wait till we get them back on there. But it was a lady who said that back when they were coming up, and I don't know if any of y'all heard of this, I never heard this, that she was told by the older ladies in her neighborhood and her family that to keep from getting pregnant, you take like a fingerful of Vaseline and put it up in there. Have any y'all ever heard this?
Hell no,
Yep.
I ain't never heard. I had. I'll say that I had. I think we did talk about this, talk about that, touch on it a little bit once before, but no, I hadn't heard it. And I
Me,
feel like whoever think of that way to do that, then you crazy as hell.
Mitch, you said you heard her.
Yeah, I heard of that. It's
I
funny.
mean, it is. I mean, I just wish that they could explain to me what's the. I don't know what's the theory behind that. I mean, that don't stop nothing, does it?
Well, their
Yeah.
theory behind that is that the Vaseline will stop the sperm from going further up the birth canal, you know, so it can't get to where it's going. It's blocked, about like a diaphragm.
Okay. Okay, that's why I wanted to kind of say that for them since they seem like they was in the generation that that lady was talking from, and I was wondering was that a common thing, when they were coming up doing that thing. Diane, had you ever heard of this?
Uh, heard of if Vaseline stops sperm?
Yes.
No, I have not, and I don't think that that's accurate. Because
So
sometimes they use Vaseline just for lubrication. But if it doesn't have a spermicide in it, then they gonna creep right on through that thick stuff and gone up to them fallopian tubes.
Not the thick stuff.
yeah, so
She said
Oh
the thick
my,
stuff.
oh my
so
goodness.
Oh, shit.
Well.
yeah, so I had to look at. I'm just curious like that, and I had to look it up. So it says that it doesn't have Vaseline doesn't have anything to kill the sperm. To kill the sperm. However, it does limit them the ability to swim.
I heard that. Well,
So
see, we shouldn't be putting that out there because you'll have some of these folks out here trying to try that, and they be trying to get at us for getting them pregnated.
I just had to look it up. I'm sorry.
I know, but you know
I
how
mean,
people are.
it's gonna slow down their swimming.
I guess what you're saying, it'll slow it down, but it won't stop because
I
you got
mean,
some of them swimmers um already got pre-ADHD and they gonna get to where they want to get to.
right.
I'm pre ADHD, and you won't stop.
I mean, but the
Ooh.
theory behind that is if they can impregnate tubes that are supposedly tied, I mean, what the fuck is Vaseline?
Right. They get through where they want to get through.
Hey, that's
Okay.
God's divine wish. Because if He wants you to get pregnant, you're gonna get it,
Yeah, I mean, you
Most
will get
definitely will.
regardless of what
it.
you
Now,
think. If He wants you to get pregnant, that's what's gonna happen.
Because
well,
look at Mary. She ain't even have no sperm or nothing, Vaseline or anything, and she still end up pregnant.
Hmm. Oh my
So
goodness.
yeah, okay.
take that out.
Oh, we gonna leave that right on in.
Cause that was one of them
Okay.
things you meant
I mean,
that. You meant that.
I mean, but that's true though.
Yeah, it
Back
is.
then,
So let me ask you this, right? Me and Andrew, we talked about forgiveness yesterday, and I hate to bring this back up, but y'all remember when I said there's levels to it, right? You know, some
Right.
things yes, you can forgive. And the only reason I bring it back up because Mitch, you didn't get a chance to get on and really voice your opinion and say what you want to say, right?
I'm
And I
good.
said
Go
that I don't
ahead.
mind forgiving, but it just depends on what was done, what the atrocity was, right? So
Right.
with that being said, I want to play you something, and I want to ask you: is this the type of thing that's worth forgiving, or is it kind of? I mean, would you forgive or not forgive? And I kind of, what the man put up there himself and said that he don't know if he can forgive the person or not. So I mean, here we go. Check this out.
Yeah,
Here we go.
yeah. I can't shake your hand. You remember me? Yeah. You Stone Ferguson? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you tried to fuck me in the ass when I was 7 years old. Oh, wow. That's you, Paul. Wow. I think your name Paul. Miss Bell Tamara, Janine and them your people, yeah. This faggot motherfucker tried to fuck me in my ass when I was 7 years old, man. Wow. Now he got this beautiful little girl with him. Y'all look at this shit. He ain't dating. Man, I'm happy I got his face. I've been looking for this faggot. You feel me? This faggot ass nigga. Look at this nigga's face, y'all. Wow. And he lucky we in Kroger and shit. Man, he got this beautiful little girl with him. I feel sorry for him. He probably only fuck with little boys though. Nigga tried to tell me it was all right to fuck with me when I was 7 years old, living with his sister, and because my mama was in prison. You thinking you don't think I could trust a black man? You can't trust this faggot ass nigga right here. Wow. And I got this nigga on camera too, man. And guess what, nigga? I'm gonna tell you what, nigga. Now that I got your face, we're gonna see you around. I ain't gonna get you tonight. You through though, nigga. This a bitch ass faggot.
Ooh, boy. I don't know, Mario. I don't know if I can forget that, bro. See, I could look over it and stay away from it, but I won't forget about that. Yeah. Goodness gracious. I don't think I could. I don't think I could. I don't think I could let that go. You know,
And
I mean, that right there could have changed the whole way that I am now if that would have
that's
had happened to me when I was a young kid.
and that's what I was trying to explain to y'all is that sometimes forgiveness is good. You know, it'll free your heart or whatnot. And sometimes you can free your heart and ain't never gotta forgive nobody. But some things, depending on the level of the atrocity, the heinous of it, you are never gonna give
Ooh,
that person forgiveness. Ever.
man.
As you
God,
see, this man
dog.
can't let it go. He tracked him down.
7 years old, and he still remember that.
Still remember that.
God, dog.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah.
Andrea, you was real big on saying you have to let it all go. Here you go.
I mean,
What
you
what
still
you
got to
doing
let
here?
it go, but you ain't got to forget about it.
Right. And even with that, and I hate that happened to that young man, but even with that, you still at some point in your life, it's not saying that it has to be today, it has to be tomorrow, a year or 2 years from now, but at some point in your life, you have to forgive a person for whatever they did to you. That's, I mean, and I hate that Mario, you don't see it that way, but you can't continue to carry things on your heart. You can't do that. Like I said last night, that brings about stress. Oh yeah, because that shit plays. It steady plays in the back of your mind. You might not think about it every day, but every so often it might just come to the front. And if you don't forgive a person, you will never be able to let it go.
But what is this insatiable need to forgive? Why are we thinking that every time something happens to somebody that they can't compartmentalize, move on, or go from that you have to forgive in order for you to move on? There's plenty of things happening to you in your life right now, right today, that happen on a daily basis that you move on from, and forgiveness doesn't even play a part for you. Just walk away, you just let it go. Not everything has to be a forgiveness label stamped on it. You just move on. You just saying, I know I don't fuck with them, and forgiveness has nothing to do with it, and you move on. Why do we have this insatiable need to forgive?
So I'll say this, because forgiveness is subjective, right? You're not forgiving uh for the person that caused you the harm. You're not forgiving necessarily for them. It has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with you and your peace of mind. So listening to that video, it sounds like the man is still harboring a lot of anger and resentment to what happened to him at 7 years old. And I don't blame him. However, that stress is going to cause him more harm than the person that he's not forgiving. It's going to cause him to maybe have a heart attack, stroke, or anything like that because he's still harboring anger. And the only way to release a lot of that is to forgive. Now, you will never forget, but you don't have to even agree with of course you don't agree with the thing that occurred, but in order to forgive, uh it just allows you to be able to continue, like Andrea said, to live. Because there's things that I was forced to have to forgive people that now imagine this, having to forgive somebody who's no longer present um to even tell you they sorry. Imagine having to forgive somebody who is no longer present to tell you that they sorry. But in order, so again, it ain't about them, it's about you.
You, right?
And prime example, glad you brought that up. Me and one of my friends, this was a while back. We had this big blown out argument. And then, do you know, a couple of months later, she had a massive heart attack and was dead. And I'm talking about, this was in our, well, I was maybe 18, 19, but she was already in her 20s. She died in her early 20s. We never got that chance to say I'm sorry to one another. I just so happened to call her mom one day, and her mom just happened to tell me, well, she died.
Mm.
And that tore me up so bad on the inside.
Bet.
Because we never got a chance to make a meet.
I personally, because of like the way I was raised and the stuff that my parents dibbled and dabbled in, um, when I was a nurse, I used to harbor resentment over people that did drugs and things of that nature. And in order for me to look past them and their illnesses, because it's an illness, I had to go back and forgive my parents in
Right.
order to be able to overcome this. And now I just see patients as patients that are sick. And that goes the same with what the video was about. The man that did the molestation stuff, or even pedophiles, they are sick. They're sick. And need counseling. And a young man that is was harmed at 7 years old needs counseling so that he can learn to move
Heal.
through life without harboring such anger towards that person and wanting to hurt him, so.
And I don't disagree with what Nat and y'all saying, but not everybody walks around feeling like whatever they need to forgive somebody from, they wearing it like an albatross around their neck. You know what I'm saying? Some people just, I don't have to forgive you and I can still move on and live a productive life. I don't have to harbor on it. Don't have to weigh on it. Don't have to be stressful on it. I don't feel like I'm about to have a heart attack or nothing like that. You know what I mean? I just don't feel the need to forgive you, or I just don't mess with you like that no more. I don't feel that like it's weighing me down. I'm just trying to, that's the part I'm focusing on. Why do we feel that if we don't give somebody forgiveness, it weighs us down? That's the part I'm not understanding. All
Boy.
right. So Mitch, do you loved your mama, right?
Yep.
You did. I love my mama, right? And
Right.
everybody up here, if I'm not mistaken, everybody mama up here has passed, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So once again, and I hate to harp on this, but I'm just going back to this. What would be done? Now, I understand this is a totally different scenario. That's why I'm just showing y'all different scenarios about forgiveness, right? That's all I'm doing, showing you that sometimes it just depends on what a person do. Now, on this one, I will give you this cause and effect. Because he did some, she did some. But I'm just saying, tell me if this is forgivable. All right, check this one out.
Take my mama's. You gonna take my mama's ashes and put them in the toilet? Are you serious right now? She didn't like me. No. Why would you do this stuff to me, man? On me. You could have did something. Like what you talking about? That's my mama. I wanted to hurt you like you hurt me. Hurt me? Hurt you? What are you talking about? I cheated on you a few times. You could have got back at me by doing. Man, I don't know. I'm really restraining myself, man, because you just did something so outrageous, man. I'm not believing this stuff right now. Stop. I'm showing this to the whole world how devious and foul and snake-defied you can be, man. Auntie, because guess what? I've been communicating with you. You ain't trying to communicate. I've been you so much. How? You don't even listen to me. You put my mama's ashes in the. I got your attention now, don't you? Really? That's the way that you want to go about it. That's the way that you want to go about it. And guess what? I found her. She ain't like me no way, so that's where she at. My mama ain't got. She has nothing to do with what we got going on. She has nothing to do what we got going on.
Okay, Mitch. She fleshed your
Boy.
you cheated, even though you cheated, and that's the only thing you got left from your mama, and she fleshes your mama ashes down the damn toilet, Mitch.
Ooh, Mario. See, you wrong for asking me that, boy. Look, the one time I ever did something that I'm ashamed of, it happened because somebody said something about my mom. And I lost it. And I knew I was wrong, but I lost it. It was fuck your dead mama. And I fucking lost it. You know?
Yeah.
That one damn time. But I you know what? I would be pissed off, Mario, but them ashes ain't her. Them ashes ain't her memory. I couldn't fuck with her no more, though. I couldn't say shit to her no more. I had to walk away from her. Being real, man, look, I don't see how the hell he talked that damn long to her. That wasn't getting no get back. That wasn't getting your lick back. Man, that was stabbing you in your heart. Because there's not a man I know alive that don't love his mama. But it goes to show you what type of woman that you laid your butt down with. That goes to show you, though. You don't really know people until you live with them.
So, you forgiven or not?
I'm going to forgive her, Mario. I'm going to forgive her. Because I ain't got to see her no more.
Miss Diane, flip it around. The situation is still the same. Just, the man did that to you. What's your reaction and what you doing?
I would definitely probably explode. I would probably black out. I don't know what exactly would happen during the blackout, but I would definitely not deal with that person ever again in life. And again, forgiving that situation, that would take some time, but it ain't about them. It's about, because forgiving is about just letting it go and letting that person go. But I don't know. I don't think it has anything to do with forgiveness with this situation. It's just, you just ain't dealing with that person again, because that was a stab in the heart.
Okay, that's fair. All right, Suge, what you doing? What's you forgiving? What's the deal here?
I would forgive, but it would be it would be many, many, many years from now. And like Diane said, that would to flush my mom's ashes down the drain like that. That would have been a blown knockout fight right there.
Okay.
No questions asked. All that arguing and stuff, we wouldn't have done that. We wouldn't have done it. I ain't asking no questions. I understand you mad because I cheated or whatever, but my mama didn't have nothing, didn't have shit to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have nothing to do with it. So yeah, that's a blown knockout fight right there. I'm sorry, but hey, and forgiveness for me on that note would come 20 years later. Not immediately, and I just wouldn't fuck with that person. No. That is a person that I would most definitely X out my life.
Okay. See, I'm not knocking none of y'all for the forgiveness because, like I said, you definitely, some forgiveness does bring peace to your heart. You have to, depends on what it is. Like I said, to me, forgiveness is a sliding scale. It just depends on what it is. I'm not gonna hate you. I'm not gonna whatever. But I'm not giving the forgiveness, and I'm just not gonna mess with you. We'll be we'll be on good cordial terms. Hey, bye, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gotta forgive you not to mess with you, and I don't feel hurt. And like Diane said, it's for you. Yes, it is for you. But some things I ain't gonna be fucked up about. I mean, you just move on. Now that right there, those two instances right there, these are extreme situations. I just did this just to play devil's advocate, to provide extreme measures of forgiveness and all that. Let's pray nobody have to deal with now one of those scenarios. You know what I mean? But it just that showed that while we kind of like sitting here and none of your chemicals in your brain is firing off, it's easy to say what we would do in those situations, especially that last one. And maybe, we don't know what the fuck we would do. At least Diane was honest and say she would have blacked out and she don't know what the fuck would happen, because that typically might what would happen. By the time somebody would have woke you up or you would have came out of it, somebody would have, you'd have been in the back of a patrol car by the time you would have woke up. You know what I'm saying? So it just goes to show you that under certain situations as humans, we can handle anything, but we really don't know until we really face with the shit.
All right, that's true. Miss Garnett, you have anything to say about any of that?
Mr. Arnetta, did you see the video?
You on mute, baby.
I saw it.
Okay, so give us your opinions on it. Put it low.
Well, I've been thinking while y'all were talking.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Mitch that it's not my mother that you put in that toilet. But the mere fact that she did that tells me that she didn't have any respect for the memory that I had of my, or him. He would not have had the respect of the memory that I had of my mother. If you're asking me if I would forgive them, I would have to, because the Bible says that you need to forgive. Would I tell them that I'm going to forgive them? Probably not. Because I agree with Diane. Forgiveness is not for that person, it's for yourself. It would take me a long time to process that. And I mean, when I say a long time, it's going to be several years. I'm not talking about several months. It'll take me several years. But I would immediately be gone from there. There is no way in the world I could stay with someone who was so unfeeling and would think that, because they did that to get some kind of rise from that person. She did that for a purpose. And it didn't have all to do with him cheating. That is the most disrespectful thing that you could have possibly done. There was no cause for it. She could have done anything else. She could have burned his clothes. He wouldn't have been. He'd have been mad, but he wouldn't have been that mad. That was just, I don't know. Yeah, I could not. I could never live with that person. And y'all know I tell you all the time I can't do jail. I'm too old to do jail. But if I had to stay there one more night, I would probably be doing jail.
But if y'all listen to the video, it was deeper than that because she said she did it because your mama didn't like me anyway.
Yeah, I heard.
That didn't have nothing to do with nothing. The
Sure
lady not
That
did.
even
means she
here
had some
anymore.
ill will toward the mama when the mama was.
Exactly. But that's something that she's gonna have to live with for the rest of her life.
You know what, y'all?
Yeah.
That made me have to go to my bedroom and get my chain. Y'all see this little Sigma sign right here?
Hmm.
This was a ring that my mama had that I had melted down into this. My first wife snatched the chain off my neck that had this on it and threw it in the woods. It took me 2 weeks to find it, but I
Mm.
didn't stop till I did. That's how important it was to me because it was like her last thing that I had of hers that was personal. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's like that to me. That's why you don't hardly ever see me wear it. Every now and again, y'all see me wear this chain that's got this little Sigma sign on. Every now and again. Because to me, this is part of my mama to me. And for somebody to take it and throw it like that, I can't even fool with you no more. I'm gonna forgive. I've forgiven. But I can't forget that. Because you hated on me that bad that you tried to just tear down my core, the inside of me, to try to get back at me. That's wrong, man. That's wrong. But you can't do
So,
wrong for wrong, so you can't do it. So you gotta walk away from that, Mario. Because if you do wrong for wrong, the second person won't always get caught. You ever notice that? The second person trying to retaliate to what somebody do, that's always the one that's in jail. I'm too big to be going to jail, man.
I mean, I totally get all those point of views and stuff like that. I'm just praying to God that that never happened, put me under a situation like that because I'm a mild mannered guy. I don't know how I would have handled that. That is insane to me. Do anything you like Miss Diana say. Fuck with my PlayStation, tear up my shoes, my clothes, anything like that. Cause you know how I feel about my mama. Don't do that. I would beg you like a child if I saw you over the toilet. Please do not do this. You know what I mean? Anything. I would be offering up shit for you to fuck up other than that. Cause that's hard. That's messed up.
Yeah, yeah.
That's messed up.
Miss
All right, Miss Dianetta, um, had you ever heard? I wanted to ask you this that back in the day that older women told people to put Vaseline up inside of you to keep you from being pregnant. Have you ever heard that before?
I have.
And it
My
was
mother never told me that, but
oh
I
okay.
do. I have some. I have some friends whose mama told them that. Yeah. But when I asked my mom about it, she's like, "That wasn't true." You know. But yes, I've heard it before.
But Andrea said she looked it up and said that
It's
it
kind of
doesn't do
true.
anything to kill sperm, but it's hair.
It's kind of
That it
true.
slows them down. I mean, if
Mm-mm.
you use that as contraceptive, chances are you probably gonna end up pregnant.
Well, back in the day, they used Vaseline for a lot of stuff. You know.
Yeah. Hmm. Used it for lube too, didn't
Yes, they did.
it?
Some people and some people still. Some old timers still do.
I know. Yep.
Oh man, Mama D, what do you think a woman's duty? Are you even comfortable with the word duty?
I'm comfortable with that. Yeah. Um, I'm in agreement with Marlena as far as being a compliment. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 31 what a and you hear churches talk about the Proverbs 31 woman. and that's the person who, the woman who tends to the family, excuse me, physically and emotionally, and basically that's what women do. Um, in this day and time, women have a lot of roles. You know, it depends on what the needs of the family is. What they would do is cater their cater their duties to what the family needs. They may be in a situation where she really doesn't have to work. The husband is good about that. So there are other things that she can do as far as taking care of the home or whatever. There are some women who are not good at being house mothers, but the husband is. And if it means that they're the ones that are the breadwinner, then that shouldn't be a problem. Whatever the needs for the family that the husband and the wife can agree on, then that's her duties, as long as it's within reason and it's not illegal.
Okay. All right, Miss Diane. What do you think a woman's duty to a man is?
Well, I do have an issue with the word duty.
Okay.
I think it should be rephrased as uh
Job.
to the woman. No, I don't think it's a job. I guess once you get married, it is a legal obligation. So if that's the same as duty, I guess, but duty just sounds so
Chauvinistic.
outdated. Yes. So
Hmm.
so let's start here. What my obligations would be to my husband, not just to my man, because those are two different things. um, once you, because oftentimes they say, um, if you're not married, then I mean, yes, of course, you want to do the things, and treat the man, kind, treat him like a king and things of that nature. But it's going to be a little different if you're married. So, um, I believe that they should be a helpmate. So whatever the man is lacking, the woman comes in and try to help, complement him. I think a woman should be a man's peace. I think that they should cater to their ego from time to time. Because men need, they need a boost here and there because they out in this world fighting against the world. So it's good to have somebody that will make you feel good about yourself. Um, yeah, pretty much just be your peace, be your helpmate, and whatever he's lacking, just kind of try to fill in as much as you possibly can.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, Suge. Your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm gonna say something totally different, but then I'm gonna come back with the real stuff. The three F's.
Uh-oh. Find them, fuck them, forget them. Never mind. Don't be looking at me
That's
like
definitely three F's.
that.
No. Feed them. Feed them in two different ways. Fuck them.
And flee.
And when they when they start getting out of control, just go feed them again and tell them, go on about your business and shut the fuck up.
Okay.
But no. So I got that from somebody a long time ago. That's where that came from.
That came from Easy E.
No. But honestly, we're supposed to be your guys' helpmate. we're supposed to be your best friend. We're supposed to be that shoulder that you can lean on when you don't have anyone else to lean on. And just as Diane said, be your peace. We men don't get, some men, they don't get enough peace in their homes. And that's, I know, with dealing with certain people, that be their main complaint. I don't get enough peace. A woman is supposed to help that man to have his own peace. No one wants to come home to anyone nagging and bitching about XYZ, even about the kids.
Okay. All right.
And that's when
Mitch,
you
let's get
throw all that other stuff in there,
I mean, it's okay. Mitch, let's get your opinion real quick. Then I'm gonna play some of them, see if the women think that is new age talk. She got a point, or this lady crazy. What you think, Mitch?
Well, I got
obligations?
I've got 5 different things. You know, I think my woman should be my left hand. I'm strong in my right hand. I don't need my woman to be strong all the time. I just need her to be my left hand. You know, be on my side, be my left hand. I need her to be my backbone of support. You know, if I say I don't want to do something, if I tell somebody we're not doing this, I need her to be on my side. That's my backbone of support. I need her to be my best friend. It shouldn't be nothing that I shouldn't be able to tell her. Whatever she asks me, I should be able to answer. That ought to be my best friend. We ought to be able to talk about anything. You know, she ought to be able to be my confidant. If I tell her something, I don't expect her to try to use that against me. If I break down, because that's the worst thing a woman could ever do. When a man breaks down and tells a woman something, and then when she gets pissed off, the first thing she want to do is go back to something you told them in confidence, something that you felt and how you felt, and they try to push that back in your face to make you feel this damn big, you know? And last but not least, love me unconditionally. Man, look, this is a crazy world out here. Ain't nobody perfect. You know, I joke around about a whole lot of shit, because I'm just that way. I like the fun around and stuff, but all fun and left in the back of me. Look, man, we don't know how much time we got left in this world. If we don't find us some damn body, to be on our side and make us feel like we love, hell, what's the use of living? So that unconditional thing mean a whole lot. That's how I see it, Mario.
Okay, and I it's hard to argue with that, but let's just get a real left field take from a woman and see what
Oh
everybody think
Lord,
about
what
this.
age group is this, Mario? What age group? Because that says a lot.
This person looks like maybe they mid-30s or something like that.
Oh, it's going to be some bullshit.
All right, so let's kick it off and let's see what this person has to say about things.
If you feel like you don't want to give it to him, guess what? Don't ask him where he's going. Don't ask him where you been. If you're not interested, cool. Let him go do his thing then. How dare you think that you just all that where, oh, I could just not give him some. Play them games with the right man. He got 5 other chicks in his phone book right now that's swinging from a shower curtain. Trust me. The most abusive thing a woman can do is to make that man either be in a relationship with you, marry you, and then turn around and stop giving him what you promised. And there's no excuse. So if you're with somebody and they not giving it up, it's not cheating if you go get it from somewhere else. Period. Because you went against the agreement first. That was you. I ain't saying that for him to be told no. He is then within his right to have another woman perform that duty that you didn't perform, especially if you're married.
Well, damn.
So who would like to take the reins on this?
Oh, come on.
Diane,
I just need one of y'all to say something.
Diane, how about you go first?
So she's saying if the woman is not performing all of her duties, I'm assuming sexually, that gives a man the right to go out and mess around. Is that safe to say?
Is if that's what you perceive it as, yes.
That's what I got out of it. That's what I got out of it.
So,
Yes.
so now if there's nothing wrong with this woman and she's capable and she's just not into that man any longer, I wouldn't keep him tied up. I would
Let him go.
free him. So that he won't have to feel the need to go out and cheat and things of that nature. However, if the woman is ill, cancer or whatever the case may be, it is his duties or obligations to stand by that woman through sickness and health.
Sickness and in health.
And they have to figure out how to, take care of his sexual needs because she's not strong enough. I don't think that he should go out and use that as an excuse to go mess around. But if she just not feeling him and he goes out and cheat, I mean, I ain't condoning it or saying that's something that's okay. But it doesn't surprise me because again, everybody has needs, man and woman has needs. So it goes both ways, you know. But free them and let somebody else fill those voids that you cannot.
Okay, that's a really good answer. I like that. Go ahead, Shug.
Um, I I'll come from this aspect of it. I have a lot of male friends, and they have wives, girlfriends, or whatever. Um, to a couple of them I am really close with, and but these main two, that seems to be their issue in their relationships, in their main, I can say three. Their issue in their relationships and in a marriage and things like that and whatnot. And I sometimes I guess they may have just called me just to ask me their opinion. And this is what I told them. It's only a couple of reasons as to why a woman is not being sexual active with you anymore. It's because she don't want you anymore. She's thinking that the grass is greener on the other side with somebody else. Or you just don't, you ain't shit in bed. I just put it out there like that. So in those situations, I do feel that it is best that a person just go ahead and let you go. Because why be with somebody if you know you don't want to be intimate with them? Why be with somebody if you know that there is a chance that they're going to go out and cheat on you? And that's not fair to them, and it's not fair to yourself. It's not fair all across the board. Why be on both ends? Why be in a relationship or marriage and be in misery?
Okay. All right, Mama D. What's your thoughts on what she said?
If you are not performing for your husband for reasons other than you're sick, and this is on a regular basis, you need to let him go. Free that man. You know, I, a lot of women use sex as a pawn, which they shouldn't. But if it's to the point where you think he's disgusted and you don't want to have sex with him anymore, um, or for whatever reason you mad, or you see somebody else that you might want to have sex with, let that man go. Let him. Don't make him miserable because you feel like you too good for him or for whatever reason. Yeah, just let him go. Now I'm like Diane. If it's on another reason for her because of illness, that's something totally different. He should be loving enough to know that his wife would perform if she could, and he needs to stand by her. And hopefully, she would get to the point where she will be able to perform. But just because you don't want to have sex with him no more, or you trying to get somebody else, let your husband go. Let that man go.
Can I piggyback on what you're saying, Dinetta?
Sure.
So also, it's not necessarily just the woman in her issues. If she's not doing these things and she's like sticking around probably for due to being comfortable, complacent, or whatever the case may be, then that's the obligation for the man to leave. The woman don't
Yeah.
always have to leave.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If
No.
you're
Yeah.
not
Right. That goes
getting
both ways. Yeah.
if you're not
Definitely.
getting what you feel you deserve in a relationship, marriage, or whatever the case may be, what the fuck you still sticking around for in the first place? Instead of going out and cheating, you leave.
Right.
So it goes on both parties, not just on the
That's
woman.
true.
Because sometimes the woman, will be very comfortable and be like, shoot, I can have my cake and eat it too, and all my bills paid and everything else. I'm good.
Yeah. I
Then
just
that's
said the
up
woman
to that
because it was a
man.
woman that was talking. But yeah, that you're right. It goes both ways.
No, I was gonna say that even before you spoke. I just wanted to find
Oh.
somebody to piggyback on.
Okay.
All right. Well, Mitch, what about from a man's perspective? What do you think about what she said?
Well, I can't help but to agree with half of what she said, but not trying to be funny or nothing. If you were a woman and the woman don't want to have sex with you, and she claims to love you or whatever, or y'all always arguing or something, this woman has already checked out on you.
Hmm.
Because most women, they want sex just like you do.
Hmm.
You know, if she don't want you no more, she's already physically checked out. That means she already got something else on her mind. Somebody else is on her mind. I ain't trying to be funny, but women do that too. That's why, like I say, understanding run the nation, you know. But at the same time, loving someone is more than sex. If you really love somebody, you love them. Sex shouldn't matter, you know? Because since we've been about what, 12, 13 years old, Mario, we've been able to please our damn self. I mean, let's just keep it real. You know, I know a whole lot of women, they man can't get their shit up. They got all kind of damn toys and shit, but they still love their husband. They ain't left his ass. So, that's how I see that. I mean, I kind of agree with what she says.
I want to say something. And sometimes, Mitch, it's not that we have other. Yes, we could completely be could have checked out on you, but it's not necessarily sometimes, that we have something else on our mind or another man, as you said, or somebody else on our mind. It just could be that we just here just for the act of it. And we just know that
You
this is
wasting your
something that you
time.
want. That this is yeah,
Hmm.
and this is something that you want to do.
And you just doing it.
Yeah.
I would rather a
Well,
woman tell me that than,
go ahead,
than
Mitch.
to do it. I would rather a woman tell me that than just to do it. Because like
And
Diane said, I'm leaving then. I'm just gonna pack up and go ahead and go. Because I don't want to be with somebody who don't want to be with me.
And isn't that something that as a couple they need to discuss?
I think so.
Yes,
But
Because a
sometimes
lot of
even when you
times
discuss stuff, it metamorph into that sometimes.
that's true, but there are times when your significant other may not really realize what the crux of the problem is. Sometimes you need to vocalize that. It may help, it may not, but at least you've given it that try.
You know what, Miss Donetta? Some men are afraid to voice how they
I know it.
feel
Yeah.
sexually. They're so afraid that if they say something, that she ain't gonna do nothing no more.
Mhm.
Some men are afraid. Man, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna say what I want to say.
Yes.
Either you gonna do it or you're not. But at least I said what I felt. And if I tell you what I'm feeling, at least you can't say you didn't know.
And you know what? But that goes both ways. There are some women, I'm not going to say it's any here on this panel, but there are some women who are really afraid to express um, how they feel about their husbands or significant others having sex. And I always, when this comes up, and I've had this conversation with in several different places, I always think of the movie The Color Purple, when
Mm.
Whoopi says he just gets on top of me and do his
And
business. That ain't the way
goes
it's
to the
supposed to
toilet on
be.
you. Yeah.
Right. That ain't the way it's supposed to be. And if you get to the point where you feel that way, you need to say something. But some wives don't want to say anything either because
They got
then
it
they're going
good.
to say that my husband is going to think I'm inadequate, and or if it's something that she wants him to do that he's not doing, or maybe he's gonna think that I'm
Huh.
weird, and the first thing he gonna want to know is where you learned that from, who told you how to do that, who showed you how to do that, who did that to you, and nobody wants to go through all of that. So there are a lot of parameters when it comes to stuff like that, but it is something. And if you're that intimate with somebody, especially if you're married, there should not be anything that you can't talk about, and especially sex, because that is the most personal, intimate thing that you can give your spouse.
Yes.
Because when you're giving yourself to your spouse, you're giving them your essence. And that may sound like an old fashioned word or old fashioned thing, but I can't think of a better word to say. You are giving of yourself. And in the act of sex, you are actually letting yourself go, and they're giving themselves to you, and you in turn doing the same to them. So if you can be that personal with somebody as far as physically, there shouldn't be anything y'all can't talk about.
Right.
But the problem with a lot of that is that as human beings, we don't ever say, hey, let's sit down, let's have an egoless talk. Right? Where I take my ego out of it as the man, you take your feeling out of it as a woman. Let's just have human non-binary conversation, right? And a lot of times we as humans can't do that because if somebody say something to the other person, they feel some type of way about it. And then the woman feel like I can't say this to the man because his ego gonna get in the way. We feel so we can't say nothing to the woman because she gonna get all of her feelings. You'll be amazed at how many people are together but can't have real structure broken down, a mano a mano, man on woman conversation. You'll be amazed at how often it does not happen because somebody gonna take it the wrong way or take it personal, misconstrue on things instead of saying, "Hey, break this down and fully tell me what you mean or what you're talking about, how you feeling, how you like it, what you want to do, what gets you on. Do you want to do toys? You know what I'm saying? If you got non-traditional people, if he the type of man where I feel intimidated by bringing toys into the bedroom, then if he feels that particular way, then y'all need to kind of go y'all separate ways because you feel you want him, he feel you ain't. That ain't never gonna change. So what y'all supposed to do? He supposed to get his way and not bring the toys in. You over there sexually frustrated. You can't get what you want. So sex is not everything. But if you're not willing to compromise, then it's gonna be a problem at some point.
Yep.
Marlena, you think you can let's because you keep going in and out. Let's see what you think about it.
It's hard to get
I'm
reception out
sorry.
there in
Can you hear
Mayberry.
me?
Yeah.
Y'all hear me?
Yes.
We hear you.
Okay. I can't hear the question because I was just trying to straighten out what's going on with my phone. I don't know what's happening, but anyway, what was the question? Hello?
I mean, somebody help me out. What was the goddamn question?
If your partner is not okay, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that if your partner is not performing their sexual duties, this woman said that if especially if you're married, she feel if the woman is not doing sexual duties, the man has a right to go out and find it somewhere else.
Well, like I was trying to say earlier, that I kind of agree with what Diane said. If the woman is ill and cannot perform her sexual activity, as she should, then he should just be sticking by that woman and not go out and do anything. But what you're going to expect, and I'm not condoning that he goes out and cheat because he's not getting it at home, but what do you expect from him if you're not providing what you're supposed to provide and you're healthy? What do you think is going to happen?
So then, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say playing devil's advocate because this has been on my mind. What if that it's the man that cannot perform for whatever reason? Is it the same as far as give the woman having the rights to go out and cheat? Because at that point you have to think about are we in love, or because if he's can't, because sometimes medication causes a person to not be able to do what they need to do, but is that going to make it okay for you to go out and find a boyfriend? Or are you going to have to just use toys, which in turn it could be the same way what they can use toys?
Yeah, I was going to say, well, I was going to say that there's other alternatives,
Well, you do know a man can put a strap on too. They have strap-ons for men, so he can put his strap on, put his little thing that don't work inside the hollow part, and he can still make love to his woman. Now, I don't know no man who'd want to do that, but I think I'd rather do that than have her running around, Yeah. I mean, let's just keep it real here. These some real good ass damn conversational questions. That
I
we don't
agree
talk
with you
about.
100%. If you want to get to the point where you want to please her and y'all, like I said, had those real egoless conversations, and she says she's cool with that, this is a good course of playing of action, then yes, I'm down for it. Then I wouldn't want to. But if she said, okay, cool, I'm cool with this, let's try this. If you love her and you care about it, you have to try. You have to.
Yeah. And my thing about that is you still get his body next to yours. You still get you still get to feel his touch, the caressing, the
And the
kissing,
warmth.
and the warmth and the breathing and everything that he is, except for that little strap down there. You get everything else that he is.
Yeah, they make those that feel like skin now.
Because you have to have, in the beginning, your relationship should not begin with sex.
No.
It should not. So that you have something more in common. Because one day If you live long enough,
It
both
ain't
of
gonna work.
y'all
Yep.
thing it, both of
Okay, so you
the
you
sexual
said
desires.
you said a
But it's
mouthful
not gonna
there
work, and then that's why
because
I know you guys have heard me say it a lot of times. You know what when both of us can't have perform sexually, what are we gonna have in the end? Okay, so is then that's
Conversation.
is that when we're supposed to now try to become best friends?
You
But
better be
coming
best
from the
friends
medical,
before then.
yeah, right. Coming from the medical aspect of it, um, when someone is not able to perform that and someone else wants to bring someone, those are deep conversations that whoever needs to have. Those are just things that married people, those are married people's conversations. I'll say it that way.
Well,
Instead of just going out and cheat. We know you as a wife, I know that my husband has a high sex drive. As a husband, he should know that I have a high sex drive. And we're gonna have to sit down and figure out some other options to do.
mm-hmm.
but where you come in with the problem, like Marlena said, if you go into this relationship and it's all about sex,
It ain't gonna work.
the act of sex, and not talking about what you like, what you don't like, what's going to happen when this happens, is, I can tell you that my dad had prostate cancer before my mother died. So I know for a fact that they weren't doing anything. But she didn't skip a beat. She didn't skip a beat.
Right.
My dad would walk past him, would walk past my mom, and she swat him on the butt, or she'll be standing at the sink or you know in the kitchen somewhere, and he'll come
Mm-hmm.
behind her and kiss her, and he wasn't really an affectionate person, but I noticed it because I was old enough at that point to realize what was going on. um I noticed he was a lot more affectionate to her
Uh-huh.
after he developed prostate cancer. He was not much of a hand holder, but whenever they
Mm-hmm.
went somewhere, he made it his business to grab my mother's hand and hold
Right.
her, and not just hold her hand, but he would intertwine his fingers, because that says a lot. It's a difference between holding hands and intertwining your fingers and holding hands. So he made it his business to intertwine his fingers. He was not one who, when they stood together, to put his hand around her waist stuff, but he did those things to let her know, I'm still here. I still love you. I'm still your man. Now, what they did in the bedroom, I don't know and don't want to. But he proved to her that regardless of what his diagnosis was, and regardless of what he could or could not do in the bedroom, he still cared for her.
So
Okay.
sex, so having sex and intimacy are two totally
Different
different.
things.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You
Agreed.
can have
Agreed.
sex and
Yes.
be intimate during that time, but you can show intimacy and show that you care about a person and love a person and make a person feel loved without the act of sex.
Exactly.
Sex
True.
is a bonus and it is part of intimacy, but you can feel if a person loves you by how much intimacy they show you. And that ain't just always in the bedroom. That's coming up,
Right.
hugging you,
Yep.
kissing
Yep.
you, communicating with you, pillow talk with you. And
Yeah.
that's before doing any humping.
I think the most intimate thing a man could do with his woman is to lay in the bed with her and just spoon and talk.
Yes.
To me,
I am a
to
fan of
me,
pillow
I
talk.
don't know what it is about waking up with your significant other in the cup of your arm, and you got your other arm wrapped around her waist,
Mm.
and y'all just kind of molded up upon each other, talking to each other. It's something about that. To me, that is one of the most intimate things that I feel like a man can do with his woman.
And I'm glad you said that because men won't say that. There have been instances where women would ask for that. Um, when my husband was living, he knew that that's what I liked, and there was, and just like you said, that was comforting for me. He knew that I liked that, and it was. I mean, sometimes we would talk, sometimes we wouldn't say a word. I would be in the bed before him, and um, he'll kind of tap me on the shoulder. That was like, scoot back my way, or he would scoot up my way to let me know he was in there, and we would position ourselves so that we would be spooned together. And I'm not one who likes to sleep close like that, but I could go to sleep a lot fast because I'm an insomniac. I could go to sleep a lot easier because first of all, you can hear his heartbeat, or you can
They
feel
become
his
in sync with
heartbeat.
each other.
Exactly, exactly. His breathing pattern becomes your breathing pattern, and it's soothing. It's just like a baby. When you put a baby
Yeah.
up on your chest and they hear that heartbeat and they hear that breathing pattern, and it lulls them to sleep. And it lulls us to sleep. And it makes us feel this man really cares about me. He really cares for me, and he really loves me. It's a comforting feeling. And I'm glad you brought that up, Mitch. I never really said anything to Frank about it. Um, it's just that I do know that all men don't do it because they think it's
I do it.
crazy. And I often wondered what men thought about it. So thank you so much for enlightening us, to letting us know that it is something
Man.
that you all enjoy as well. I thought you were just, and as a matter
Mm-mm.
of fact, I just thought he was doing it because he knew I liked doing it. But apparently he did too.
Mm-mm.
A lot of times I didn't even ask him for it, and he would just do it.
If we sit too still on the couch together and she laying on me, if I look at her, that helper is sleep. Okay? No lie. She is sleep. There's been times where I could have picked her up and just put her in the bed. But when I go to do it, I'm woke, I'm not asleep. Oh, yes, you are. You laying here softly snoring, you sleep, you know? But that just shows that level of comfortability. Because when you get a woman that's comfortable with you, she can let it go and she'll go to
Yeah,
sleep
yeah, yeah.
because she knows that you got it, that she feels safe. And that's all that shows you is that woman feels safe around you, that she can go to sleep. She can let go because, she knows that you got it. So that's a testament to you, man. That's a testament to you.
It is. All right. Well, we're at that time, guys, and that's a good way to end it. Let you know that Pillow Talk, and I brought this up on several shows, podcasts, to tell you that Pillow Talk. Remember, we had a conversation, and then we asked what's missing in today's relationships, and I said Pillow Talk is what's really missing in today's relationship. If you look at some of the most connected couples, I guarantee you their Pillow Talk time is strong. That's where you really get to know. That's where the guards get let down. That's where people talk, and that's where you just feel that connection. Where if she move away, everybody, if y'all unconnect, both of y'all waking up. Y'all
Boy.
gotta stay connected. You know what I mean? So yeah, pillow talk is very, very important. So
Yep.
all right, with that being said, Mitch, wrap it up for him. Talk to him, player. Let's get out of here.
Man, it's been a great show tonight. I appreciate all for tuning in on these lyrical byways and highways. I appreciate y'all for checking in and come back and see us again. Peace out.